if we have to record your live and play it on a TV, will you guys be able to watch your own live with your family? If not, change. So beautiful people, I hope you're doing good. It's your host, Kambembo Nehemie, and today I have a privilege to have with me Joseph Ntumba. How you doing, man?
I'm okay. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to have you here, man.
Finally, I've been looking forward to actually, be here. And thank you so much for actually, receiving me. I remember the call that we had, just the first talk that we had, it was quite, I felt like, no, this is the person that I need to connect with. And I'm really grateful that I'm here. And thank you so much, And I wanted to tell you, I've looked at your work and I'm very happy for what you're doing. And you mentioned something there about giveaway, and it's something which I also want to do for the community. And I'm very happy to be here, man. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, man. But Mr. Joseph, the culture in Salt.podcast would like you to introduce yourself. Can you please do? Because there's 1,000 people who are going to watch this episode. Can you please introduce yourself to those viewers?
Okay, my name is Joseph Ntumba, just like you said, and I'm a upcoming self-published author and also an entrepreneur. So I was born in Congo. I was born in Congo, in Kinshasa, and I came to SA when I was 17 years old, just to join my family, my father, and my siblings. From there, I did my tertiary education in sound design. And also in retail management. So here I am on this podcast, about to talk about what I'm about to do in the future. And quite exciting. And you spoke about Joe Midas, so I'm sure as we dive into the conversation, I will explain more about Joe Midas and the rest of the other things. Okay.
Thanks so much for mentioning that. And you mentioned that you left home when you were 17, so a young teenager.
Yeah.
Let's say it like that. So how was that transition? Because Congo and South Africa are two different countries. Back home, they speak French. This side, they speak English. How was that transition for you? Was it easy for you to fit in this side?
Actually, I'm grateful that transition happened, because when I left, I was in Kinshasa. From Kinshasa, I went to Lubumbashi. Lubumbashi, I did like a year there alone. No mother, no siblings, no one. Just I was with my uncle. Actually, when I say alone, it's without my family, And I think from then, something changed about me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's just when I started to discover, myself more, And I think that transition was very important for me to actually grow, you see. So by the time I came to SA, the culture was different. The language, school, how school is here and how is it back home is quite different. But fun fact, it was quite easy for me to update, because if you look at the percentage rate, passing rate, it's 35%. So like I had my 45%, which could still allow me to pass. So it made it easy for me. So actually the transition, I'm going to speak more about when I was in Lubumbashi, because that is when it was a game-changing life for me. Because I was alone. I was well alone. I felt alone. Okay. No mother, no father. And there was sometimes, as I was like going to my 17, and you feel like no one is checking up on you, you're a bit worried and all that. You wonder, did these people really just abandon me? I'm still with my uncle who goes to work in the morning, comes back later on. My grandmother who's there, we don't talk, so I have to find my own ways, you see. And I think from there, I developed certain habits, of meditating, maybe when I go to church, I like writing, I want to dive more into what the pastor's preach about. And it was a very game-changing, for me, and I really love that experience. So at the moment I got to SA, I was a different person, you see. I just kind of felt like, even with my siblings, I was just different. You see, I was just different, and I was thinking differently. And I think it was based on that experience when I was just alone. And I think I needed it to be where I am today. And like I said, I'm always grateful for that.
So let's travel back to your past, because it sounds really interesting. So you left Kinshasa and traveled from Kinshasa to Lubumbashi, and you were young. And knowing that in Kinshasa, most of people speak Lingala. They speak the French part of it, but in Lubumbashi, it's also a different part of our country where people only speak Swahili and a bit of French. And you found yourself in that situation with no siblings, no father, no mother. How did you manage to make a living? Because I know that as a young teenager, your parent was still able to provide for you even from far. But mentally, emotionally, what was the impact of the community that you were growing up?
When I got to Lubumbashi?
Yeah, when you got to Lubumbashi, what was the impact of that community that you found there? Because I know that Kinshasa, we have another culture. We have different ways of thinking, different way of doing stuff. In Lubumbashi, people perceive everybody that speaks French as a ghetto boy.
That's true. That's true.
You see,
I can relate
so
to that.
How was that community for you?
I felt welcomed. I felt it was a bit strange because people, they just loved me. You see, because I could only speak French. You see, and where I was, like Lubumbashi, people don't. I'm not gonna say like they don't speak French, but where I was, that in that community, French was something a bit special. If you speak French, people they be curious, to get close to you. I felt so welcome and I felt so loved. And the thing which helped me the most is when I started going to church. When I started going to church, and I'm so grateful for that church actually, because that is where I found a bit of that family. They just loved me, and just to let you know, I also play keyboards. I play keyboards. So I started playing keyboard at church, and that love was just there. That support was just there. And even though I could still think about my family, about my parents, about my siblings who are not there with me, but at least they covered, something which was missing. I think that community was there to cover it, and I felt it. And 1 year, it's 1 year. It's not easy, man. If I have to look at, I remember there was some days I was just sad. I don't even know why am I sad. But growing up, I started realizing I was just missing my parents. I was just, mentally, I was so drained. I was wondering what's happening. I remember one time my father called me, and I told him, but after all this time, you're only calling me now. You see, but what's happening? You guys don't send me money. I'm still a child. I started crying over the phone. You see, I was so upset, and for the first time, I had to end the call, which was very disrespectful, but it was just that anger, I just ended the call. And then my mother called me after some days. I'm like, if you guys don't want to look after me, it's okay. I'm here. I will find my ways. It's not like they didn't care about me, but it's just that you miss it. I think like parents, they should really actually, make sure to always check up on their kids, because you don't know what's happening with your kids. You don't know how they are taking that situation. You see, where you don't check up on them. A month, 2 months, 3 months. You don't know what's happening. You don't know what the child is recording. You see, and I'm still a child. I don't know how to process that. You see. So, but in my case, I felt like the fact that I just had that community who just loved me. You see, for my French, probably because I could only speak French. I was trying to speak Swahili, but still I was new there. And the church also really they were open to me, they gave me a few responsibilities at church and all that. And I just felt like part of the family, you see, but I was still missing my parents. I needed that attention, and it was very important for me, you see.
Okay. Yeah. And you spoke about like you being in Lubumbashi when you came decide you were a changed person. You were transformed. Because what you lived shaped you and changed your perspective about life. Can you really tell us what changed? What was that situation that shapes you mentally, emotionally, and allowed you to have a different perspective of how you have to see life?
Okay. And I think when I was in Lubumbashi, I had my uncle. My uncle actually loved me also. And he was always telling me something which I still have until this moment. Is always telling me that you are just a different kid. So just different, And fun fact, I used to help, I don't know how I'm going to call, my uncle's son, He was a bit older than me, but I could help him with some maths, and all that.
Like homework
and all that. So it was always telling me that you are different, and I always consider it as my child and all that. And that's something which was also playing in my head. As a child, I'm different. I'm special, and it changed my way also of thinking that I'm just different. I'm not just like everybody else. And I started to think quite differently. I started to see life quite differently. Fun facts: when I was young, I used to think as an old person. You see, even in my relationship, it's just like I've got this old perception. I'm doing things like an old person. You see, and surely I'm sure it was because of that journey of being alone. Mentally, I had to be strong because if that journey didn't happen, I wasn't gonna be strong. Emotionally, I had no choice. I could cry the whole night. I could feel whatever I could feel. But at the end of the day, I have to be like, "Hey, Joseph, calm down. You can't cry the whole day. You see, you have to calm down." You see, and my uncle helped me in the sense whereby there was some time I could go to him and speak to him, about how I felt, about my parents, It was quite a bit sensitive, but I did it, because I could also think that maybe he's gonna think otherwise. Because I was also thinking a lot, I always think quite a lot. Even when I was young, I was also thinking a lot.
You're an overthinker.
Overthinker, if you have to put it that way. Right. So me opening up to my uncle, about certain situation, helped me out as well. You see, I don't think if I didn't open up, I was gonna feel so drained, Maybe until now I was gonna still have those records in my head. You see, and I think that is where I felt like, okay, this you opening up, it is helping you. You see, because the more you open up, you free yourself. Yeah. You see, so if you keep things to yourself and don't wanna open up, it's like you're in a cage.
From the inside, yeah.
So you're in a cage, it's like you're in a cage because there are certain things in life, certain situations that's in life, which happens in life, ourselves we create it. You see, ourselves we create it.
So was your uncle a judging person or was your uncle just a venting board? Like a person where you can just go and talk to and crying without judging you or seeing, like this boy is crazy. Like this boy is just mess or starting judging the fact that you act anyhow. How was your uncle? Was it a supportive uncle or was it a judging board?
Well, I think he was listening a lot. It's very funny that in our culture when you talk with an old person, you have to listen a lot, not to talk a lot. Even if you've got something to say, you have to listen a lot. But still the other way around with my uncle. I was talking a lot. I was complaining,
and he was listening.
He was listening.
So it was the other way around. Inverse.
Yeah. So I feel like the fact that he was listening, it was actually helping me out to release everything. And I think that was one way of him helping me out through the situation. You see, because imagine if he didn't listen to me. Every time I want to talk, it's going to cut me out just to say something or maybe to advise me. You see, advice is good, but sometimes you got to listen so you can also know how to advise the person.
Just being a venting board where people just you just listen.
Just listen.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that's what my uncle did. And I'm like, okay, this was quite good because the way I know my uncle is a very wise person. You see. So I'm like, but you were talking too much. You were complaining. He was going to come back from work. He's tired. Even the wife started like complaining. Sometimes if I go to the salon, it's going to be like, no,
this boy is here.
This boy is here. I started having a problem with my wife's, uncle because of that thing, Because I didn't want to open it to the wife. I want to open it to my uncle because I just trusted him more. You see, but he was listening. And I think that was very important, And just maybe by past, I think also parents, they should just listen to the kid, Even if they're venting out, just take time to listen to your kid. There's nothing wrong with that.
Are you also being a venting board or a judging board?
No, I'm not. I think you asked me that question, you answered that about my uncle being judging. No.
But now I'm coming back to you. Because your uncle helped you by just being that person who listen a lot and don't say anything and don't judge how you think or how you perceive life. It was just there to listen and understand. I even think like sometimes even didn't want to understand you, just wanted you to speak.
Yourself.
You see, are you also being that person who is listening or are you judging in your community? If I have to come to you and tell you my problem, are you going to judge me or are you going to just listen?
I think that's a good question. And I want to listen, man. I want to listen to what you have to say. You see, judging is quite big, but definitely we can criticize what you're doing. If something is wrong, I have to tell you that what you're doing is wrong.
Yeah.
You see, it's not, maybe that's the term judging, but it's always there because you cannot see what's in your eyes. I can see, you see, but you can be, but I'm fine. I can see, but there's something in your eye. You have to take it out, You see, you might, the hour you're going to take it, it's your problem, but I'm trying to help you. You see, it's like, yes, there's always that time whereby you have to criticize about something, you see, which is not really a bad thing. You see, to the person, you have to tell them if something is not right, it's not right. Okay. You see, however they take it, it's their problem. You see, but I want to listen.
Okay.
I really want to listen.
Okay.
You see, and I know the impact of just listening to someone, how it can impact that person talking to me. You see, even if the person is venting out, yes, I know when it's just gonna help me out to actually advise the person, and to guide them to make the right decision. Or however,
I get that. So we touched on you moving from Kinshasa to Lubumbashi. Now let's speak about you moving from Lubumbashi to South Africa, because you said when you live, so like it's like when you left point 1 to point 2. It didn't really shape you much, but you felt that change when you left Lubumbashi to South Africa. What kind of person were you?
I think I was quiet. Yeah, I was quiet. I was observing. One of the traits I still have until now. Yeah, but I'm sure as going up, you realize that you cannot always be quiet. You have to speak out sometime, you have to open up and all that. But I was just that kind of person who was just quiet and observing. You see, I wouldn't do much, but I'm observing, you see. So that was the kind of a person that I was,
So now tell us about you in South Africa. First time arriving, I was that boy. I was that kid.
It felt good because I've been wanting to be with my family, man. I've been wanting to be with my family. And now here I am with my father, with my siblings, and with my brothers. I don't have a sister. And it felt so good, It felt so good. And it's like, this is a family that I've been wanting to be with, after this 1 year of just being with other people, which was very important for me to just be on the stage. But it felt so good, to spend time again with my family, with my siblings, and, as boys, we always fight, those things in the house, it just felt good, And also, my young brother had to be my English teacher, he had to teach me how to speak English and all these things. It just felt good, Also the language in the country, new language, you have to go to school, and it just felt so good, to be again with the family.
When did you arrive in South Africa?
When?
Did you go here?
Late 2012.
2012.
Yeah,
wow.
Late 2012.
That long ago. Wow. Like,
that's about
like
14 years. Yeah.
14. 12 years. It's 12 years.
12 years.
That's weird, man.
My math is not good yet.
That's weird, man. So what inspired you to start Jomida?
Jomida is actually a community, like you said earlier on, for people who are seeking ways to heal from their past challenges and all that. So Jomida actually started after an experience which I've personally encountered, in my relationship, in my love relationship, and also with all that happened to me also when I was alone, you see. And I just came to realize that people are actually going through certain things in life, And, when we were young, there's quite a lot of things which happen to us, you see. And fun fact, those things are still there, recording in our mind, you see. And it affects us mentally, emotionally, even physically, you see. And we become so reactive to certain situations. You see, maybe I'm going to use an example. Maybe when we were a child, there was something which was trending lately about a pit bull who killed someone. So this is what's going to happen to all of us. You're going to realize that every time you see a pit bull, you're thinking
of the story.
Of the story. So the pit bull is like something bad, you have that fear. You see, even though we're already old, we can control that mindset, but we still don't. So what about when we were young? You see, so I just felt like there's quite a lot of things which we had when we were younger, you know, which we still haven't dealt with. You see, and like I say, I want to listen. I want that person to come and talk to me. You see, there's quite some techniques, if I have to say, some process, you know, to go through about all these things, which maybe as we dive into the conversation, I will explain certain things. But it's just, I just want people to open up.
Okay. So you said Jomida is a platform where which aimed to build a community for individuals seeking ways to heal from past challenges, including childhood traumas, relationship issues, and grief. Have you been into a trauma as a kid? What is, because I think it's more if we make the situation a bit realistic. For me to be able to help someone in the media industry right now, I can be able to with the small knowledge that I have on that. If someone, if I have to consult someone about, let's say, like education, I have something to tell because it's something that I've been through. Have you been into a childhood traumas that shape your perspective of, like, now that you are a grown-up person and feel bad about how you lived as a small kid, and now you don't want people to be held back from their past traumas or help them heal from those traumas? Have you been in a situation like that before, or you are just doing that because you feel like people need to heal from what they went through, but without you experiencing it yourself?
I can say I've been in both parties. I've been through it, and I've also seen a very close person being traumatized, you know, and that's also traumatizing to myself.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I say, when I was in Lubumbashi, it was bad. That's also part of me being traumatized. But the one which I can really speak about is when I lost someone very close to me. Someone very close to me. I can put it all together. I was traumatized. I was depressed. I was everything, you see. And if I have to look at the journey of the person that I lost, you know, maybe what led to his death or whatever, I could also feel like this person was also going through certain things, was also traumatized, you see. So it's, you know, it's just like, it's like telling Joseph, you've got to do something about this situation. You've got to do something, you know. I don't know if you get me.
What was that situation?
Well, I really don't want to dive deep into it, you know, because it's actually a big portion of the book, you know. Okay. Yeah. So if I have to dive into it, it's gonna.
I think I read that.
Yeah. I read that. I'm sure you know about it.
I read that.
So, but just for the people who are watching us right now, it was just about that thing. Also, you know, it's like I'm like, yes, people are going through things, you know. Because even myself, I was so traumatized, you see, because of that situation. You see, I had sleepless nights, you know, and I'm thinking, it's like you're thinking about the solution, you know, what am I going to do, you know, to help. You see, and I have to look for these people. I have to find them. I know they are out there, you know. I know people are so closed off, you know, they don't want to open, they don't want to talk, and people are going through things, Nehemie, I can tell you. People just don't want to talk, you know. People are so traumatized every day. I don't know what you went to this morning. Maybe you went to something, you know. I don't know. I'm just saying. But when are you going to talk about it?
When I feel like it. When I feel like
that's the problem. You see, because the longer you take to talk about that thing, it's just so bad. It's just getting worse. You see, so the sooner you speak about that situation, the better. You see, and that's something which I experienced with that person which I lost, because it was, as much as you're trying to help this person to open up, you know, about whatever they're going through, it's like a very slow process for them to just open up. And you will see how this situation is eating up the person. You say, I hope I've answered your question.
Yeah, not really 100%, because you don't want that to that story, because you want people to go to buy that book.
To come to the book launch
and discover. But I think it's also interesting if you can give us some tips or tricks that can make me come to the showroom of this book, because I think like now, I don't know what your book is about. It's innocent love. Okay. But what is innocent about that love? I want that one thing that can boost me to come to your book show. To know first of all why is the choice of the title so important.
Okay, this choice of title is very important.
I think we're gonna get it.
Okay.
That is our second part of the stuff. But I wanted first of all, because you really, I was in a point where I really want to discover what does Jomida do. You see, now you explain to us, but I wanted a tangible situation that someone is healed from a past trauma. Do you know anyone that you've assisted to heal, and what was the story?
True, that's a good question. I had a friend of mine who also lost someone, and I can probably say I was there for them. You see, and I always felt like I was a therapist.
Okay.
Yeah, I felt like I was a therapist because I would get to sit with the person, ask them question. I want them to go to the root of the situation. I want them to go back to that moment when they were crying, when they were feeling whatever they were feeling. I want them to go back there. You see, and I was doing that quite often with my friend, and I've seen over the years, how the person has changed. And fun fact, the person could even have the courage to speak about that situation without feeling anything. So it just shows that this person has healed. Because there's always these three things which I believe in: is to open up, to heal, and to recover. You see, the moment you open up, it's like it's already a journey of you to heal. You see, but after healing, there's still something which you have to do. You have to recover. You see, recover, which means you have to move on with life. You see, when you are healed, you accept the situation for what it is. You see, so I can proudly say, like I say, that I've actually helped someone through this kind of a situation. You see, and I feel like there's 1,000 people out there, which I really want to go through with them through this session. You see, maybe in future we want to have a camera on, and so I can have that session with someone, something like that.
Yeah, but also when you send me your bio, I was like, okay, I'm impressed. And in that bio, you say mental, spiritual, and financial and physical health are central to your philosophy. How do you maintain balance in these areas, and what advice would you give to others struggling to find that balance?
This is a quite difficult question. Yeah, but I feel like if you can actually take care of yourself in those 4 areas: mentally, spiritually, physically,
and financially,
you will be fine in life. You will just enjoy this life. You see, you cannot live one and say the other 3 are not important. They all work together. You see, and I always feel like this thing, it comes to yourself as a person. If you really want to take care of yourself, I mean, no matter how much I can talk to you, no matter how much I can advise you on certain things, with finance, with spiritually, whatever. But if yourself, you don't take that decision to change or to take care of yourself, we're just wasting time.
Okay.
You see, we're just wasting time. And that's why I say it's like, you just make sure in all those 4 areas, you really take care of yourself. It's a self journey. You see, the community, which is us, we're there just to help you, just to motivate you, just to, to tell, don't give up and all those things, but it's for your own good.
Okay, that's very good. So now let's speak on your point, on yourself. Let's move out of the community. Let's come back to oneself, because we are the community. Let's keep our responsibility. Someone said in my recent episode, responsibility is the ability to respond. That's how he described the responsibility. How do you make balance on all those 4 elements that you just mentioned lately? How do you make balance?
Okay, how to balance that? I think you have to start with one. You cannot do all of them at the same time.
Yeah, so let's speak about you, about effect, like a real story.
Effects, mentally.
Okay.
Mentally, I love reading. Crazy.
Okay.
I just love reading. And reading has helped me, like, you've got no idea. My favorite book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. So I don't know how many times I've read that book, but it's just the information in that book has helped me so much just to live in the present. You see, because mentally we've got this thing, in future I'll be this, I'll be that. So it's like you pushing everything in the future. So what about the present moment? You see, you're not thinking about the present moment. You're forgetting about the present moment, which is the moment which is supposed to be focused on. You see, imagine if you say, no, I'm going to start this podcast in 2026. So what I do in 2024?
And
2025. So why are you projecting everything in the future? You see, so it's just that, I'm coming back to the book. It's just that living in the present has helped me so much. It's just that mentally you've got to know where are you sitting. You see, I think if you start that journey mentally, and then you can move on spiritually. I'm sure we're Christian, so or whatever belief that you have, it also helps us. You see, and financially definitely, and I think you should just associate yourself with people who have exceeded in those areas. You see, because you are seeking for help. If you're seeking for help, you have to go out there and find it where it is. You see, I know that maybe you're good at whatever that you are. I have to come to you. I realize you're good at this. Help me out. You see, so financially, spiritually, but mentally, I think it's more of yourself. You have to do it by yourself.
Okay, so how did you help yourself mentally?
I told you I started reading books.
you read a lot. That is the first point.
Yeah.
How do you help yourself financially and spiritually?
Spiritually is church.
Okay.
Yeah, we go to church for a reason. It doesn't matter how strong you mentally, you still have to go to church. You still need a mentor. I think those are our pastors. Those people are very important. No matter how, even if financially you feel like you are already there, but trust me, spiritually, you need a mentor, because also in the spiritual realm, there's quite a lot of things, man.
Yeah.
There's quite I'm not the right person to dive more into it, but there's quite a lot of things which I've got no idea of. You see, so the right people, it's those leaders at church or whatever religion you are into. You see, so that's it.
I think that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Now you're making me feel. So you said something like a lot of people forget about the present and think of the future. I think I was having a conversation with a friend yesterday. No, that was Wednesday. I was telling her, I'm like, most of us don't enjoy the present because we are focused on the future. You see, as long as you are focused on the future, you end up broken tomorrow, because let's say you feel like, okay, I'm going to be that person within 2 years. I'm going to be that person within 4 years. But all your focus is projected in that 4 years that you forget about living the presence. For me, I do my best to enjoy every single moment that I'm alive. No matter the future plans or project that I can have, but I'm doing my best to enjoy every single moment that I'm living, because I can go out and get an accident and die. So what about my plan and my project? Who's gonna live that? I'm doing my best to make it realistic and adjust it based on the situation that I'm going through right now. I know that life there's up and down, of course, yes, but we need to stand on a solid ground to be able to move forward.
So just because I spoke about that's your example of projecting everything in the future. It's one thing which I've actually experienced with my friend, the one that was helping, when you asked about. And I keep telling my friend, you have got to be grateful every day. You see, and it's some sort of a practice, and I will advise everyone to do. You see, because the more you're grateful for what you have in this moment, it's like you're attracting more things to be grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and just those practice, man, every day, every morning. If you want to do it in the morning, maybe out before you sleep. Other people do it before this, but a person do it in the morning. You see, so it's just that practice can just help you also mentally. You see, because I'm all about this mental thing, you know, and I think that's very important. I just thought I should highlight that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before we close this bracket, speaking about Jomida, your vision, what is your future goal? What is Jomida future goals? What kind of people do you want to reach? What is your goal? Because now we understood your vision, why Jomida exists, where you're standing, and how are you pursuing all the stuff that you are doing? But what is your future goal?
Okay, I think my future goal is just to definitely have that community in place. You see, and also to have people who actually understand my vision, so we can move this together. It's not about Joseph. It's a community. You see, if one day I'm not there, this community is still moving.
Okay.
I've done it.
Okay. So let's not do like Congo, because in Congo, our president always speak about understanding, I'm going to say it in French. No, vision ya chef de l'État, vision ya chef de l'État. So now, can you please just share with us that vision of yours that we can support? Because we need to support fact. We need to support a vision. You know, what is that vision? What is Jomida vision? Because we know what is Jomida. Now I've understood. But what is that vision that people need to support, that people need to agree with you and to work that journey with you?
Okay. The vision is quite simple. We're still gonna seek for those people out there.
Okay.
Who needs help mentally.
Okay.
So you join me and let's move this community.
Okay.
That's it. I'm not going to say much about it.
Okay. Thank you so much. That was really impressive. But beautiful people, I'm going to show you this book. You know, this book, you know, and there's a picture of you here. I think you were too young on this picture.
It was a fight for me to put that picture there because my editor was like, no, you need to find something. I said, no, I want that picture.
I didn't notice, man.
Yeah, it's good that you noticed it.
Wow.
I think I was 18.
You were 18?
Yeah, I was 18. I wanted something young at the back.
Were you stressed?
Ah, man.
And how come you have beers in your 18? You see, because you know, like I'm 20 something, but you know, I still don't have much.
I was 18 back then.
So, guys, we have a book here, Innocent Love. I think outside there, my friend Israel asked you a very good question that I like, and shout out to you, Israel. So he asked you a very good question. So, why the choice of this title, Innocent Love? Why? Because there's many titles, you know. Why this specific one?
Okay, I chose innocent because I feel like we all innocent in a sense whereby we don't know about something.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, we end up doing something. It's out of curiosity. You see. So we like in whatever that we do in life, there's always that first time of doing something. You see, and we do it so innocently. You see, and from there you gain the experience. There's always that first time, love, whatever field you can think of. You see, so that's why I just chose innocent love. You see, because if I have really to dive into whatever was happening in this book, you see. First relationship, I don't know what I was doing. You see, everything which I did there, I didn't know what I was doing. You know, I didn't go to an expert or whatever. No one taught me anything about how to love this person or whatever. Myself, you know. Maybe the community could come help later on. Maybe you hear this, that. But it always came from an innocent state of mind. Yes. So that's why I'm like, this book should should start from the hood, like innocent love. I guess I've answered this question.
Yeah, because that is why
Yeah.
the title of the book.
Yeah.
But why this specific story? Because I think when I read this book, I already read this book, so I'm good. You guys need to go and buy this book because I read, and I'm being selfish. I'm not going to share what I read, but
Please don't share.
just some insight moment of that book. Because I assume that the book is more on yourself, speaking about yourself, speaking about your love journey with many girls as possible. Oh, Jesus. Lord have mercy.
I was innocent. Guys, I was innocent.
And when
I was innocent.
And when I read this book, I noticed that I'm innocent.
You see? No, I don't think you're innocent. You know quite much. You know quite much.
When I read this book,
damn,
stories behind this book, I'm like, I've never loved someone. No, but I felt that, man. I felt that.
Did you?
I've never loved someone because you loved with passion. I'm like,
don't expose me. Don't expose me. Come on,
I'm
don't
not going to
expose
say
me.
anything.
Don't expose me.
I'm not exposing you. People, this guy is a lover. I can't lie. This guy is a lover.
Yeah.
I was blown. I was blown. So why did you decide to share your own story? Let's be first there.
I love that question. Like I said, if you have to be an example. Mm-hmm. If you cannot tell do this by yourself, you have never done it. Mm-hmm. I'm telling people to open up. So this book, you've read it. It's not easy, man, to just take yourself back in time and write this,
mm-hmm.
your journey and all the experience which you've had. It's not just about the good experience. There's also very bad experience.
Mm-hmm.
You've read the book. And I told myself, I cannot keep this for myself. I have to share it. I have to open up,
Mm-hmm.
And me just writing, finally the editor, she's telling me, Joseph, you have to tell your whole story. You cannot, write as in poetry or something like that. You have to explain your experience, And I was like, yes, that's the way. And me just writing, and opening up everything the way you write it there, it was very important for me because I needed to be that example for other people also to open up, about the experience. It might not be about love. It can be about anything.
Didn't you feel ashamed that people are gonna read this book and I'm feeling bad about it? Because me, I'm not also going to speak about me. Okay, all right. There's some people, I think I was asking not long ago, someone asked me, like, we were just like playing games, and the question was, if today they have to record your life, will you accept to watch your own life with your father and your mom? But now I noticed that you just write your life. What really convinced you to be in a point where now I'm letting people read my life? You didn't feel any shame because you really dive in every single moment that you were living, every single moment that you were enjoying, every single moment that you were in something. You explained without hiding word. You really express yourself with your heart and with more detail. I'm like, you are a courageous person, man. So where does that courage come from? What does conviction come from to be able to share your whole life?
Well, the courage where it come from, I don't know, man. I don't know, to be honest. It's just this thing that you went through in life. And like I say, if you read the last chapter, I went through therapy.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and just looking at the whole experience,
mm-hmm.
and you're like, what's the point of me hiding these old things, you know. And what is the point of you even hiding your own story? What do you gain hiding your own story?
And what do I also gain to share my own story?
I'm gaining quite a lot of things.
Okay.
Me just sharing this.
Okay.
You know, I'm helping out people also just to open up and share. Because I felt like when I was going through this journey of writing and all that, I felt ill of the situation. You know, I felt just ill, you see. And my journey to recovery was very good. That's the last chapter of the book. I'm sure you know it. Yeah.
It's still fresh in my mind.
So it's just, I needed to do it for myself, you see, first, and definitely also to help others. So it helped me and it also helped me others. And I feel like I've accomplished something, you see, just by doing that. I've helped myself, and this is going to help also others. Definitely.
That's really good. So I'm in a point where, but me, I'm still not comfortable sharing my life with my people.
No, maybe you should come. When you're gonna have our Jomi Dance session,
you, man.
So maybe that can help.
I won't come to you, man. I won't come to you. I'm like, my life is a closed book.
Yeah,
you know, it's a closed book.
You know. Actually, just even talking about this in the book thing, it's like I just feel like I want to dive more into the book, but I'm like, Joseph, you have to wait the 2nd of November. So
I'm like,
I have
the
to
2nd of November, it's good. But people need to know what is the book about to be able to come.
The book is about relationship and mental health. So I'm just going to leave it there.
The testament of young from a lover's perspective. This guy is a lover, man. This guy is a lover. You can't believe that.
Man, it was, like I said, it was needed for me. And I feel like it's very important for also people just to open up. Yeah.
So to the community who are watching us, are you guys able, let me rephrase the question. If we have to record your live and play it on a TV, will you guys be able to watch your own live with your family? If not, change. If not, change, man. If you are shameful of watching your own life, you need to change. But if you are comfortable of watching your own life, that means you are in the right path. You are doing good things. But if you are not comfortable of watching your own life, don't do so. Or if today they ask people in our community, like there's people in this room, if they ask you like, okay, I'm going to mention people. That is the first time that I'm
don't mention me.
People in this room, because we have Eddie there. He's the guy operating all the cameras here and making sure that we have this good quality.
Yes.
If they ask Eddie, if we need to give your life to a kid and you watch after yourself, will you accept that? No. So it's mean if you are not able to give your life to someone else, so then change it. Just take your life, watch it out, then start living. So now I'm going back to give back to your community. What comes in mind when you hear me speaking about give back to your community? What resonates with you?
I felt like we are on the same path, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, and you are the kind of people that I actually need.
Okay.
You know, also to move these meters as well.
Okay.
Because we thinking the same way.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, this is quite good, you know. That's also someone out there think the way I'm thinking. You know, even the code that you had, the things that you were telling me, it's like I can hear myself through you, to be honest, you know. And I just loved it, you know. And I just loved it. And whatever support that you want, man, just I'm there for you. And I will support where I can.
Thanks, man.
You know, and that's why you saw that connection was there when we spoke.
Thanks, man.
And it's just clicked, and I just loved it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Because we are doing this for the community. Jomida exists for the community because he doesn't even care about himself. It's like, I'm good, but I care about my community because he is the community. And he wants to see the change that he want to be. You know, because he know that he's an impactful person, he's an inspiring person with every small thing that he's doing. You guys heard his story. A young boy that traveled from Kinshasa to Lubumbashi and from Lubumbashi to Johannesburg without speaking any English. You know, just came in and start learning and empowering himself. And I'm like, why are more people complaining about the English, about all those stuff, about not having a job, about this, while you are doing something? You know, explain to us. Because now you said that you are also pursuing a career. Why the Congolese community in South Africa are complaining about not having a job?
I think it's something which comes to yourself as a person. Like I said, it's you. Like I say, you always have to take off yourself. You know, there is no way that you can give this excuse that there's no job or my face did this, did that. That's why, man, just go out there. You know, go out there. There's always something for everyone. There's something for everyone out there. You see, I feel like there's just that it's also the environment where sometimes you find yourself, you know, if you find yourself in the wrong environment, it's going to affect you also. You see, that's why it's also important to be surrounded with people who can also motivate you, you know, and make you think big. It's very important, you see. And I think for those kind of people, there's always something out there for them. I think surround yourself with the right people who can actually help you. And don't just be lazy, you know, because you don't have time to give excuses. You know, why do you want to give excuses? You see, why don't you want to think big about your life? You know, you're a human being. You know, you're an image of God. You know, that's so big, man. Just to think about it, you just like God. Even the Bible says it. You know, we're like God. You know, so just to find yourself in that position to say no, there's no job and. Yeah, it's like you're making yourself feel like you're useless.
A less
you know?
of person, yeah.
And that's self-sabotage, you know. And I wouldn't want someone to get to that point, you know. And my motivation would be just go out there, you know, keep looking, you know. If you need help, find the right people. Don't just go to anyone, find the right people, you know. Like we say, well, look at connection, you know. You know, find the right people. People are out there who can help you, you know. You knock one door, it doesn't open, doesn't mean that the next door you're not gonna knock. You keep knocking until you find that one which will be open for you. Yeah. So I think that's what I can tell to my brothers, to my sisters, you know, who came all the way from Congo to here or who are struggling and whatever. And as a community job leaders, we're also there for those kind of people, you know. We can always help where we can, you know. So why not?
So as we are touching the end of our session, what is your call out?
Okay, my message, as you guys heard, I was all about these three things: to open up, heal, and recover. And you need help, you know, somewhere. Just go find it, you know. And Hamia Jomedas Hamia. So soon I will have my website, just to let you know.
All right.
Yes, I have my website. But for now, you can reach out to me, you know, on my IG. Yeah, I'm more,
the IG just gonna appear here
on my IG. And that's my call out, you know. I'm sure you've got people around you, you know, who can help you. Not even Joe Midas, but even just the people around you. You know, even have one person, you know, just to open up, just to speak out all about your stress, whatever. You see, because I wouldn't just like to hear one day that this thing happened to this person because quite a lot of people die with things, you know, because they didn't open up, you know, and I just don't want that. I just don't want that. And I'm going to really insist on that. So if you've got any situation, whatever that is, it is, you know, just find someone who can share it all. There's no shame. You know, you ask the people if they can record, you know, their life. You know, people are ashamed. You know, it's not the right mindset. You know, if I have to put it that way, you cannot be ashamed of your own life. You know, so you still in the journey of this life. You're still learning. You see, so you can change, like you say, if you don't like what happened to you until this age, so you've got another chance to change. So your kids will look up to you like, okay, I've got a good father, I've got a good dad. So I spoke quite a lot, but that was it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Joseph. It was like an hour, but really didn't feel like an hour.
Oh, man,
we have been sitting here and speaking. So thank you so much, guys, for being faithful and grateful to this podcast. Liking is for free, man. Subscribing is free. Commenting is free. Please go like, comment, and share those powerful episodes, because we have noticed on our statistic, like the amount of people viewing and not subscribing is higher than people who are subscribing and viewing. You are more than our most viewed video is like 7,000 views. How comes a whole 7,000 views community of people can watch the video, but just 10 people subscribe, man? Subscribing is for free. Go watch the video. Mr. Jomida gives some powerful insight and tips that you guys need to know. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for receiving me. I'm so happy for doing this with you. And I can tell you that you have to keep doing what you're doing. Don't stop,
Thank you, man.
And I'm very grateful to be here and with the whole team. Just, guys, thank you so much. You guys are doing well.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, I'm very grateful. Thanks so much.